And it's 9 o'clock, boys.
It is. It is
It is.
9 o'clock Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Buddha back in the building for another LC Pro podcast with my honored guests. Very happy to have them here. We got Tweacz, the man,
What's good?
and TheKryptman,
What's going on, y'all?
the PvP king. How's it feel to be back in the arena seat, bro?
It feels like I've done almost 600 matches.
Oh my god! Are you?
It's not a joke.
Enma's outrunning me. Enma has like 700 matches.
You're
Dude,
lying.
Enma's got that supreme iOS experience, bro.
Is he trying to dethrone you?
I don't necessarily know that that's what's going on. I just know that he's got like a quota that he likes to hit per week.
I see.
So he was just doing his run up, and I was just doing my thing. I've decided pretty solidly on the road to 100,000. That's going to be my goal. Is going to be to get there before reset. And I mean, I've got like a full month to do it, and it's only like, I don't know, 14K more. I'm at like, oh no, it's only 12K more. I'm at 88 right now. I'm at 88,000.
That's wild, bro. That's wild.
I mean, you know, I'm neglecting my event grind until the last 2 days, but that's fine.
right, right. Oh, can I get a thank you to Tweacz and whoever else you got to just hammer out those sulfa drugs?
Yeah, I mean, dude, people are hammering those. Like, they're not easy to make.
No, they're
very
involved.
annoying. They take a lot of grind, right?
Mhm.
And some use the same, like alcohol uses the same stuff, and you can accidentally craft them into vinegar and stuff, which is also farmable.
No.
And so you can get. I made that mistake, and I was like, why am I making vinegar when I can just farm it? So same thing with like I think it was like bisulfate or something, whatever that other one was. But yeah, those take a lot of resources and very annoying. So for all the people that actually grinded it, thank you.
Wow.
Because I mean, I did my fair share. I'm appreciative of everyone else who did that stuff. But now, since we only get one mother soul for every 2,000 more created, you guys can stop.
Oh
You guys
no,
can
yeah,
stop
no.
now.
We're done. We
Yeah,
hit our
like,
quota.
It's done. We did it. Congratulations
made
to all of
one
us.
sulfa drug.
We did it.
The overtime pay is not there.
Yeah, right.
It's not. It's really not.
No. Okay, good. So
One
got
other
the
soul
thank
is
you out of the
somehow
way.
Even less valuable than
So bad.
the other ones, the 10
Yeah,
full tickets.
Yeah,
on
the 10
on
pulls, right?
And I don't know,
Somehow
man.
it's worse.
I just like the dev team or whoever had to approve that, and I just want to know like what that. I wish I could have been a fly on the wall.
It could have been like 5 mother souls or like
10,
because like I mean 10 short of, like,
2,000.
but you do realize that people are gonna make a ton of them if we get 10 each. Like we would have run train on this event if they gave us 10 each, 100%.
I mean, that's fine. They need to incentivize stuff like that, especially when it's as difficult as making sulfur
That's
drug.
what I'm saying.
It's a multiple step process that takes like multiple stages to run, and then you got to put it all together, and you have to avoid the pitfall that you talked about of like messing it up, right?
Yeah.
Because you can mess up your whole process.
Yeah, not fun. Not a fun one.
No, that's not
All
fun at
right.
all.
But anyway,
But battery
think-
grinding is fun, right?
the battery grinding is easy. I'm doing that right now. Tweacz is doing that right now. I'm sure. Well, no, Crypt, you're in the arena, aren't you?
No, I'm sitting on double menu screens right now.
Double menu screens.
We're just sitting here with 10 energy on both, trying to trigger some people.
Love it.
It's savage.
Yeah, it's totally fine.
On that note, let's segue.
Yeah.
Multiplayer
bring
breaking
it, baby, up.
news. Pop that up. If you guys aren't
time
watching the LC podcast channel, Tweacz is sharing his screen right now because we got an in-game news announcement of multiplayer beta incoming. They gave us an exact date, and I'm pretty sure it's official. Like, they're not gonna back out of this one.
They gave us an official date, and it's 4 days away.
I don't know about that. We hope because it's so close.
Uh-huh.
It's so close that you would hope, yes.
Well, it's basically what's coming immediately after this collab ends.
Right.
Right.
What do you think the over/under on the maintenance time on this one is?
Oh, goodness
So we're talking
gracious.
extended, right? Extended how many hours?
Right.
I'm gonna go with 4.5 over under.
Yeah, place your bets.
I'm saying like bare minimum, we're spending an extra 2 hours in maintenance. Maximum, I'm saying like maybe up to like 6. I'm saying maybe like 6 hours of maintenance.
Yeah,
I
I
would
was
be very
gonna say
surprised.
5 to 7, like worst case.
Although I was extremely surprised with the fact that our last maintenance, I think it was the last maintenance, or the one before that, for the Dr. Stone event, like intro, Japan had some huge problem and was down for a long time, and Global came up on time.
Yeah.
How is that a
We
thing?
somehow managed to come up on time, and then they, removed the arena for a week and a half. But it's fine.
That's fine.
That is true. That was a long time. Anyway, I figured we could go tab by tab and just, read it off, talk about it, give our thoughts, because there is a lot to talk about with this. A lot. Big news. So first thing about multiplayer, try it out, play together with up to 3 other players. I'm extremely excited because a lot of people have already been talking about this, but it's going to add that dungeon crawl experience where you got your healer, you got your DPS, you got your support, and everyone's fulfilling that role.
Right.
I mean, initially out the gate, I think we're only getting the God gates, like the ability gates.
Well, the ability gates, the Nightmare and ability gates, and the Nightmare and God, and then the only thing battle we're getting is the Jelabonga battle.
Oh, really?
Right. That's the only.
Here, why don't we just go this? So there's rewards user, all this stuff, crystals, playing with first team up bonus. We'll see how much. I know you and I talked about Buda, but like, we'll see how many crystals you get for teaming up. It's not going to be a lot, just because.
I mean, even if it's like
the amount you can the amount you can extort that from playing with different people is pretty wild. I don't think it's going to be substantial. But
you're acting like there's more than 50 players.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. That also. But who knows? Who knows how much that'll be? It'll either be really good or you'll have to grind to get a lot. That's what. It's probably not going to be that good. But
even like
it's something like Booty. What you said. It's gems that weren't there in the first place. So
exactly,
it'll be nice to have them. 2 ways to play: create your own room, which we don't know how any of this works realistically. I mean, we saw Takasan and Kit play a little bit and invite each other, and what was that back in January? But I mean, we'll see how this is going to work. So I'm assuming there's different options to doing so.
I really like that you don't have to spend orbs to do this if you're a guest.
If you're a guest, right?
Right.
If you're a guest, but still.
So that means those of us with 4 accounts just have basically unlimited farming energy now.
So that's something we'll talk about in a little bit when we get like strategy of using multiplayer itself. So how to play. So the multiplayer can be played in quest labeled multi or multi only. You're gonna see that below when they give it whatever. So any of this is going to be on the Transcendence gates, the ability gates, as well as we get 1 quest. If you've already cleared the quest, you get to fight it with other people, which doesn't really make sense to me. If it has new rewards, sure, that's gonna be great, but whatever. Yeah, I think it's more of a. I think this is placed here as a placeholder for more of like a testing and how people are gonna do with a raid setting. So if people are going to like, if the connection's good, if the battle goes well, then I really do just think this is because this is beta. This is just like at the testing part, right?
Yep.
Because it's one of the first big boss battles you'll ever fight in the game, and at this point at the end game, it's pretty simple to do for a lot of players.
Right.
Do you remember when that came out and everybody was like, "Oh my god, this is the hardest fight that JP has had," and everybody was like all hyped up and stuff, and we just like crushed it.
That's right.
And we're like, why is this so easy? And then we realized that it was nerfed.
Oh, really?
But I mean, at that point, Global was still nerfed. We still had like the mana nerf thing going on, where we basically had like half the MP on every unit, which was pretty rough. I still don't understand why they did that. It seems like a very arbitrary like thing to try and impose on us.
It doesn't make any sense.
We got through it.
Yep. So Jelabonga, and then we have the other 2 things, which these are big, right? So ability gates, Nightmare and God. We have never had God ability gates available outside of like Last Cloudia event type deals,
right?
Like limit breaking, or like those where it's around for like a week and then it's gone. So the fact that it's Nightmare and God means that we may have this around 24/7, which is absolutely awesome. God gates are obviously the best place to get rainbow clusters. At least they have been. The grand ability gates, God. So I'm assuming if they're the grand ability gates, which this might be a different wording because it says God. If they're the grand ability gates, that would be amazing. But if it's just another God difficulty where it's a little bit higher chance of getting clusters as well as a little bit higher chance of getting rainbow clusters, that makes more sense to me.
Yeah.
Rather than being the grand ability gates themselves.
But even that has the potential to add a lot of quality of life.
Listen, we are nowadays, unless you are Beast Hunter 10ing and stealing on every single grand ability gate, you are starved of rainbow clusters.
Correct.
Right? So this could be a great addition. This could be a great addition. On Nightmare gates themselves, for ability gates, there's only a 2% drop rate for rainbow clusters. Unless you steal, and then it adds up a little bit, right? Throw another drop.
Well, also
on God gates, I'm assuming that goes up.
Yeah, I would assume so. And then colored gates as well. I hardly ever get clusters from the colored gates.
You just have to be stealing to get lucky, to be honest.
Right.
That's it. I mean, I got 3 yesterday and ran. I mean, it doesn't matter, but you just have to be stealing, and we can talk about stealing later.
Yeah.
The Limit Breaker Field's kind of sweet because we've only ever also had Nightmare Limit Breaker Field, which means that they're progressing in the stages of making harder difficulties to make the 6-star materials easier, which in turn is probably going to make them bring in, I don't know if there's going to be more enhancing or whatever, but there's probably going to be 7s. You would assume there's going to be 7-star materials eventually.
Mm-hmm.
So as they're making the 6-star materials easier to get with rainbow clusters and now lights, like Light of the World 4 and Visionary Light.
I love that those are in the friend shop so much.
And also in the friend shop, a little bit easier to get.
I take credit for that, by the way.
Yeah.
Nice.
Power of the Q&A.
But this is going to be great, right? So multiplayer is going to include both of these. Obviously, it says where you see down here in God, it says multi only, which means,
right?
Which we don't really know what that means, right? You can. I would assume multi only means you have to bring at least one other person with you. Mm-hmm. Multi by itself above probably means you can do solo or multi. Just go do it. Like it's a normal gate, right? But you can do it multi if you want. I would assume God means you can only do it over online.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the mirror to the solo only.
Right. Exactly. So that's going to be really cool in the aspect if it's got higher drops, if people aren't trolling each other, it could be really, really nice to do. Yeah. I mean those dates are going to be sweet, or those gates are going to be sweet.
Pop solo queue, if you can solo queue, if it restricts you to 1 or 2 characters.
Right.
It'll be interesting to see what.
Now it does say I don't. So, Calvin, this is a good question. So it doesn't say. It says play together with up to 3 other players. I would assume you don't need a full squad to go in.
I don't think so because remember
Kit and Takison went in with 2, right?
2
so
each,
I would assume if you have an alt account, if you want to just burn those orbs with each other, I would assume you don't need a full squad, which is cool.
Crazy.
So you'll be able to do these. I mean, Krypt and I and Deimos, we're all making alts, or we already have alts. So we're probably going to take full advantage of this because I think that's going to be great for us, rather than waiting for people to troll us in the lobbies themselves. Mm-hmm. And everyone's using Beast Hunter on the first wave and then screwing you over. So that's not cool.
Yes. Is that in the next notification or the next description?
Differences from solo play. Yeah, so I'm going to skip past creator room, whatever. Okay. Same as in scanner quest. Differences from solo play. You can only control your own unit. Sure, that makes sense. Time stop isn't available. Great. So we were all talking about God Heal, Emtheria, and just being just completely trolls and people being trolls. So I'm glad that's not a thing. But this part about any given arc skill, so we cannot take advantage of multiple Beast Hunter arcs in the same quest. So you can't just bring 4 people with Beast Hunter 10s and
pop it every wave.
And pop it every single wave, right? So which is cool. Which is cool, but that also brings in trolls who are going to use it on the first wave, and you're going to be annoyed that you can't use it on the boss wave where things are dropped the best. So be wary of that. It's just going to be annoying at some points. Hopefully people don't do that, but it's the nature of the beast.
Or you can just bring Chrome and.
I mean, Chrome gives you an extra chance, but it ain't guaranteed like Beast.
That is true. That is true.
So, Room Master can only activate a summon. Cool. I never use summons anyways, pretty much. Not really useful unless you're struggling in the map, which some people will, but you can easily find carries in this game.
Yeah.
Special bonuses. There's multiplayer bonus, the room master bonus, and the first team up bonus. We know the first team up bonus is crystals. Room master bonus is you obviously the person who's spending the orbs gets a little more. And then the multiplayer bonus, I don't know what that means, but then we go to the multi-coin trading space. This is cool.
I'm
I
excited
don't know
for
what
this.
these will mean because they have no descriptions whatsoever.
Yeah.
But the fact that you can get items from their trading space based on playing multiplayer is cool. I mean, I'm assuming they're not that hard to get.
Coins.
Yeah, right. They're probably not that hard to get, and maybe these are like increased drops and stuff, but that's totally speculation, and I have no idea about it. So don't trust anything I'm saying about these. This will just be an interesting little aspect to find.
Yeah.
Multi-coin sounds like.
And then they had to add in the important notes. In multiplayer, may not run on devices that don't meet system requirements, and I mean.
So no, CJ, your iPhone 4 will probably not work.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's just like to encourage people to not use it on really outdated devices.
I wonder what the implications for emulator play are in that.
I wonder what the implications for shadow ban is in this.
That's the very first thing that I thought of when I read that was, I wonder what the implications are here.
Right. I'm just waiting for Steam.
Improper environment.
Right, so this is tough because, like, I don't know how they're going to separate people who are shadow banned and stuff. I don't know if they're going to add this in there because, normally people are shadow banned for a variety of reasons, but mostly for using alternate motives to play the game. So people that take advantage of the mechanics of the game might not be able to be in this, but I hope not. We'll find out in a few days.
Wow.
You would assume everyone has a chance to play multiplayer. And if there isn't, if people who are shadow banned can play multiplayer, well, then that's pretty bad PR on their part, honestly.
They're about to lose a bunch of their carries.
They're about to lose, 50% of the top players.
Right. So that's multiplayer, and that's big news.
Big time.
That's awesome.
Big time.
It's going to be so sweet. I mean, it looks like it. They've had enough to time to try to get it right. So hopefully this is a little big step in getting it right because obviously they're releasing it and saying it's beta. So they're not saying it's a polished product, which we'll find the bugs. We'll have to let them know if whatever we find to make it a polished product. But it's really cool that they're finally releasing it. And you know what? I wouldn't hold my breath over the next 4 days because you never know what'll happen.
Right. But I hope they introduce it like this, so they just kind of ease us into it, which I'm totally fine with. Very limited amounts of it, because to me that's less bugs, at least to start with.
I mean, there's a reason they're calling it a beta.
Exactly.
Yep. Exactly.
Right. But my imagination's just been going crazy after reading that in-game notice. I'm fantasizing about mini dungeon crawls that's more than just their one little area that you can run around. What if there's an actual linear map that they create? But that's me getting way ahead of myself.
Listen, man, I think we can all agree that dungeon crawls are sweet. Dungeon crawl games are awesome. MMOs are awesome.
Sick if they added
this game to be a side-scrolling brawler.
Yes.
So badly.
Yes.
So I think along with that, I think they're going to be testing. They're creative. They are very creative over at Datus. I do think that they are. But I think they added the Jellabonga quest in there just to check how people are going to act and how the connection is in an actual battle with all the lag, with all the hit counts and everything that's going to screw up the system and everything. I mean, just try to perfect it in beta, so it'll be cool. It will be cool to see.
I think they did the right thing by having the the date for this not be so far out this time, right? Because it was okay, well, we're gonna do it sometime in January or sometime in February. Now it's okay, this is 4 days from now. We have a definitive date. It's not far off. It's not 2 weeks out. It's not 3 weeks out. It's 4 days. It's next maintenance. It's happening. Unless they have to delay it for whatever reason, which is totally a possibility.
Oh, God, knock on wood.
I'm telling. We're getting cyberpunked. Somebody in my chat said 15th delayed until the 23rd.
Right.
Mark my words.
And then on the 23rd, sometime in April.
I mean, maybe it's possible.
And then we get to the second anniversary, they just shut down the game.
Right.
Good stuff.
It's been fun.
It's good.
It's been fun. Yeah, I mean, I know obviously there's not a lot of details on those rings that you seem to be able to purchase with those multiplayer coins. I didn't know if you guys had any further thoughts on it, or if it's just like, we'll wait until those details come to us.
I mean, visually they look cool, but
they do.
I have no idea. Got no clue.
I mean, if we're trying to draw information just out of what we've got, we might be able to pull something from the color, right?
Mm-hmm.
The crimson stuff usually applies to like one thing. Green stuff was like the celebration stuff. So I mean, maybe there's something there, but we really don't have enough.
There's not enough. There's not enough. I thought maybe
we just gotta wait.
Come on, Buddha. What are you trying to do, man?
I'm just trying to speculate, man. Come on.
You want us to make look like fools here? Come on.
Sometimes you gotta be wrong.
The YouTube clickbait speculation thing. I respect it.
It's part of the game, okay? What can I say?
I got you.
Although some people didn't think Merity was the next
apparently she's
unit.
a trashy unit, Buddha.
Oh, you want to go into that? You want to go into that?
CJ brought her up earlier. You know she's one of my favorites.
Oh, I don't even know.
Bonk Queen.
She is the Bonk Queen.
The Queen of Bonk.
I mean, I guess this is totally like off topic going into Merity, but I don't know how I get she's a unit. You have to know how to build, I would say, to really bring out her potential.
Right. As with most.
But like obviously you have DB Ray, who looks like a monster because he's flying all across the screen and beating people up. You got Nero. As soon as you unlock his ability board, he's hitting damage cap without any extra skills on him. So like there's units that look good on a surface level with not much done to them. Mm-hmm. But when you're looking at the potential, I mean, that's what I rely on.
What you can put in their kit, for sure.
Exactly. It's a whole different analysis.
I mean, there are certainly characters that are more like new player friendly, that are less reliant upon being built. Like their built-in ability board is good enough, right? Like it's a super solid starting place. And then there's some that like you truly have to invest in before they are worth a damn.
Right. Right.
I think that would be an interesting list to see of like, what units are the most, I guess new player friendly is a good way to put it. Feature complete. There you go. That's a great way to put it too. Good words there. Thanks, Demi. But yeah, like which units are feature complete out of the box and which units really need a little bit of extra gas to get there.
Yes.
And that's a whole nother discussion that we could have. I'm not trying to derail us into that right now.
I know, right? Yeah, I'm about to go on a whole Nero tangent.
Easy to do.
Yikes.
Easy to do because we weren't doing the show then, so we didn't, we didn't have all the time to talk about that. But we could do a whole show just about like collaboration units and arcs.
Yes.
Easy. Like that's an hour discussion. That's a 2-hour discussion.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like you guys said, there's not too much, I guess, to speculate off multiplayer. We kind of went over the in-game news. Mm-hmm. I mean, the original plan was just to start this podcast off talking about part 2 of Dr. Stone.
Yeah.
With Chrome and the LR arc. So I don't mind if we jump into that, expand, and then maybe if we have time at the end, do a little Q&A from the chat. Because we didn't really get to do that last time. It's up to you guys, yeah?
Absolutely.
Cool. All right. So, Chrome.
Let me get the little guy up here.
There are a lot of there's a lot of different feedback. And rightfully so. Yeah. I just want to say, I think judging Chrome's usefulness is very situational to how old of a player you are and what your account looks like.
That's a super good take on that.
All right, good. I'm glad I'm on the mark.
I think there are very different ratings as to how useful they are. Obviously, how useful he is for new accounts, for mid-game accounts, and then for end-game / super end-game accounts. Mm-hmm. Chrome, I'm going to bring him up here real quick.
Yeah, pull him up.
Where you at, homie? So,
there he is.
Chrome, his best trait as a unit, his most niche trait is this resource collecting.
Hands down.
Awaken him, Demos? No, he does not need awaken. So, his battle start, chance to get items from all enemies with items, up to 1 per enemy. This chance increases as the skill level increases. So at max skill level, people have data mined for 35% chance from each enemy to drop an item.
That's not bad.
No, it's not bad at all. You will almost always likely see at least 1 or 2 items drop from wave of 4 or 5. So, and sometimes more, sometimes less. But obviously, it's a chance. This is kind of like the foolproof way of getting more materials when you're auto running. If you're a new player, you have an automatic chance to get new stuff. If you don't have like a normal directed stealer, and this is like freely upgradable. Like you don't have to, it's a passive thing. You don't have to force yourself to go into the battle and just start trying to do crits with PTR or crits with Yasha and try to get capped with the try to get insta kills and stuff. Like you don't have to do anything.
It's not as technical.
You can bring a full normal team, PDPS team, into resource collecting, as Chrome is one of them, and just run through maps and still have a pretty good chance of getting stuff done. He's just your by chance farmer, which is great. He's an auto run farmer. He's not going to do it because he has no directed stealing. And by directed stealing, I mean like PTR's crits, where you force yourself to get a crit to almost guarantee. At some point, you pretty much guarantee yourself to get an item, right? There's no availability for a Chrome to do that. It's by chance at the beginning, or if you stack Bangle on him or a Strat Bags paid item, he has a chance when he kills someone. So, as a general lazy farming unit, he's really good.
Well, and especially for like you said, new players that don't have the wherewithal to know how the PTR stealing proc works, the Yasha stealing proc, that is a little more technical. This guy makes it lazy. He makes it easy, which is going to be fantastic starting out. Because just running this guy through story mode from the get-go, you're getting almost double the amount of return.
Over double, in fact. So I will say that most story mode maps, most enemies, and Damos, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but most enemies have 20 to 35% chest drop of normal chest drops. So at minimum, you're getting an extra steal on each enemy for 35% guaranteed. Or not guaranteed, but an extra 35% proc, which steals from a different loot table, right? Yeah. So if you're getting 20 to 35%, and 35% usually bosses, so almost every other enemy in a wave in a story mode map is going to have a 20% normal chest drop rate. The fact that he brings in a 35% chance drop rate on a separate loot table is going to double, if not, almost over double your drop chances, or your drops per map. So that's really, really exciting for progression in a new player and in a new account. If you can, I would argue that out of any unit in the game right now, he's probably the best unit to start out in, just because resource collecting is so big for progression of an account.
Yeah, undoubtedly.
And yep, so his invaluability as a new player cannot be spoken enough of, honestly.
Right.
But
so that's enough.
As is, he's so useful early on. And mid-game, really, because you're mid-game, you're going to be cluster farming. Mm-hmm. You're going to be trying to get other materials, like huge stacks of other materials. I get that. He's still going to be really useful then. Moving into, as your game progresses, as you've probably built, at that point, I'm assuming you're going to be building a PTR or a Yashimaru, which Phantom Thief Robin, for people who don't know, I'm assuming you guys all know. Phantom Thief Robin is PTR, and then a Yashimaru. They are directed farmers. They steal by crit or by pursuits, and you can enable that and you can force it, and they're really, really, really good at gate farming and guaranteeing drops that are so very worth your orbs to use, like foreign lights and rainbow clusters and other clusters and all that kind of stuff. So as you go to an endgame account, you're probably going to have those other units built, which Chrome is going to lose his brilliance.
So you would say, because obviously he has that 35%, meanwhile, if you build Yasha and PTR right, you can damn near guarantee that extra steal.
Of course.
So at that point, his effectiveness is significantly less.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, 100%.
Chrome is a QOL update disguised as a character.
That's an
He's
interesting way to
fast
put
beast
it.
hunter, right?
Yeah.
He's got that thing that we asked for. It's like, please let us use our beast hunter on our farming stages. And they're like, oh yeah, okay, here's a character that does that.
Right. Give us your
Yeah.
crystals.
What's the
And also, he's good on every level.
Right.
what's the maybe Damus knows this off of the top of his head. What is the level of beast hunter that this is equivalent to at 35%?
4.
Level
It's
4.
level 4. Yeah.
Really?
Okay.
Is level
It's
10 guaranteed?
Level 10 is a 100% drop chance from
Oh,
every enemy
wow.
on the field if you use it. Yes.
Oh,
Sure
wow.
is.
Wow.
If they can
So
drop
it's essentially a level 4 beast hunter used every single wave,
Which is not
which is
hard
which
to
is
hit.
great.
It's
which is great.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better than not having it.
Yeah.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Correct.
Statistically, quite a few more drops. It seems to stack too. Like, it seems like if you've got 2 chromes, the chance is doubled. I mean, not doubled.
Yeah.
But
So
they're
independent, right? So 65%.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. It's
I see.
It's much more likely.
I started a mission earlier, and I think it was just one of the gates. And every single enemy, it was like level 10 Beast Hunter went off. Like, all 4 of them just popped a chest right at the beginning. It's like, oh, cool.
That's awesome.
So that felt kind of good. The running joke is that I hate Chrome. I don't hate him. I just don't need him.
Right, exactly. At your level, you and Tweacz level, I mean, and like, what's he gonna do for you in PvP?
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Nothing.
There might be something there, but I don't think so. I
His
think there's other units to do it
his
better.
damage is nice. Would you say?
But it's not. Yeah. I mean, it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. I mean, it's on level of power creep that's around, but he doesn't have that extra, slayers or extra damage boost or damage cap that's gonna be really, really. I mean, there's no cap. He doesn't have the extra crits. It's not like he's not like excessively good at single wield. He's just like, He's just like another PDVS unit. Who would you say he's like in? He's just like a damage dealer in arena. He doesn't bring anything else to the table.
Like a Nero?
Nero's got
Nero...
some pretty heavy multipliers. It's not. I don't want to say Nero.
Okay, I just know
Nero
that
will blow people out. It's amazing.
Yeah, and he's
I
also got
love my
strong,
Nero in PvP.
He's also got some strong slayers, and it's just like that's.
I got you.
But Chrome is he's a good. So if anyone's watched my video on when I had it like right as he came out on him versus Pablo, he does some fat damage to him, which is cool. His SCT is great. But that's PvE, right? Like, it makes it a lot of people struggle with that battle, but like at an endgame account, you're not really you can showcase that kind of damage pretty easily. So I mean, I would say if we get a battle like Zlorg where you need to be capping every single skill, then his science stuff comes into play, like this 40%. If you can use 25 skills in a map, dude, his damage does cap pretty much everything, even if it's resisted like 50%, which is really nice.
Well, and he lowers his elemental resistances.
Yeah,
that he uses,
he has a chance to do that as well. I think
nice.
One of the JP guys, I was watching their video, and they said that the chances is 10% for pretty much all 3 skills.
That's not crazy.
And it only procs on like the last hit, so you only for every skill use, it's 10%.
So yeah, it's not per hit.
Yeah.
That affects it significantly.
It's not per hit. Most skills that proc something aren't going to be per hit. It's only like one hit of the skill itself. Just like Logia too. Logia has that same thing. But I mean, his kit looks nice. It's just like, I mean, he has the auto recast, and I've used him as a mage a little bit, but like he's got like 200 base MP. Like, when are you going to be realistically using as a mage other than farming? And at that point, you're bringing a full crew with you, and you're farming.
Right. And does he scale off int and strength as well? Is he 1-to-1?
Yes, he does. He also has a much higher base strength, base intelligence than strength. So it's much easier to bump up intelligence and to get a higher damage than use strength itself.
Just like Gen.
Pretty much just like Gen, pretty much like S a little bit.
Right.
Zekus especially. We've had a lot of int based physical DPS lately. So,
which is nice. I like that.
I agree.
I like like that.
But he has a lot of cool skills in here. Where are his uniques? I'm gonna go to default and go to his uniques because they are cool. So their uniques are always at the bottom. Gold Rush 2. Obviously, if you don't have Max Zell at this point and you're a relatively new account, this is gonna be ballin' because you need Zell early on.
Oh my god, for auto running?
Oof.
Yeah, that's
So good. That's
like
huge.
you will just sit at 99 million forever.
Eventually, you will never need this again. You'll never need this again. Like the game we were at, we just don't need Zell. But for progression, what he's good for.
It's useful to shuffle through arena targets and hit soft targets that you know. That's probably where most of my Zell goes these days. That's why I don't sit at that.
Yeah, pretty much. Just cycling through arena. But this is cool. This is a cool last ditch idea. I don't know why they gave him this, to be honest. But
it's a double.
He has double awakens, but awaken doesn't usually give intelligence. So this is like a beefy, just offensive buff twice.
It's kind of crazy.
Which is sweet because in arena, I'm just going to talk about arena. Greatly recover HP, slightly recover MP. That recover MP is going to let you use Sharp Eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Most likely. And I don't know how much the MP it actually is because I've actually never had him close to death yet. So someone will have to tell me, and he's probably been at full MP when that's happened, and I haven't seen the proc. So Vital Jab is cool because he can use a staff and get physical damage up, which is awesome. Usually we don't have a way to use a staff and get physical damage up. Curiosity for Science is cool. That's his big damage boost too. For skills, Gas Mask, we have that. We've had this on Kawaku. Yeah, man, he's a good PvE unit for damage, but that's it. Like just DPS.
One thing that would have made Chrome much better, in my opinion, is if they had expanded him to not just be fire and thunder, throw ice in there, give him innate H2S. Suddenly, he's one of the best mages in the game.
Really?
Yeah.
But they didn't do that, so now he's like strictly inferior to Senku as a science mage, right?
Yeah.
There's other units that do PDPS the same. I mean, with the exception that he has that like 5-color attack or whatever in his S3.
Right. So
but like
his S3 specifically, Rainbow Bridge, it's 12 hits, single wield, and it has 2 hits of each element. So that's why, if anyone's used him, that's why you'll see there's 4 hits in there that are going to be fire and thunder that have heavier cap raises.
That makes sense.
So, yeah. So it's not just like each hit has every single element and it'll just like hit the lowest element of them all, but there's 2 hits of each element. That's it.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Since you brought up Senku, I'm going to be selfish a little bit and get your guys' opinion. I have Spirit Materia. Do I ever need Senku?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You can use him alongside her, to be honest. If you could do the amount of damage buffs and the amount of support he utilizes for free is fantastic.
Okay.
And by that I mean I use Senku as a support because one, I hate magic in this game. It's kind of stupid. But if you need to build him as a science mage, great. He's not bad. But
at least he has access to the best magic, right?
Right.
Minus H2S again. He doesn't have that innately. He's got Black Gunpowder or whatever it's called, and Generator. I love Generator. I think it's real fun to put Generator on somebody and then cast other stuff on top of it because it overlaps. So it's like you kind of create like a microwave for people.
That's hilarious.
I would agree. So this part, and I can also explain out Senku real quick because he is new to some people, right? He's not new to us, or he's not new to Krypt and I and many other vets, but like he is new to some people. Why he's a good support. This Kingdom of Science thing is right here is amazing for elemental, physical DPS, and pretty much anyone that's elemental around him. Plus 25% damage. It's
like
all the healings plus 25%. Not only that, but his ult is one of the best support ults, best attacking support ults in the game. For physical DPS. Restores SCT. I think it's only like 10 SCT, but that's not the thing. Matter. It's like 30%. It's its own buff, and it increases like 30% physical damage, but it also decreases elemental incoming damage by like 30%. So it's a separate buff, and it just makes you hit so hard. And it's a super quick. It's not quite as quick as Tinkili's, ult, but it's very, very quick.
Very fast. Yeah.
So is it?
So
Can
you can spam this thing pretty easily.
Can you see that in PvP often, or?
I have never used an ult in PvP.
That's what I figured.
I've done it like twice. If you're getting to the point where you're using an ult in PvP,
You're losing.
Or you're very specifically trying to do that.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Because I mean, you can do goofy stuff like that. You run Hidden Treasure, the one that gives you 50% skill
Right.
or special recharge.
Right.
You can get that.
Yep.
One other thing I really like about Senku is that he interacts with what is probably my single favorite skill in the game, which is Spirit Breath. His S2 triggers Spirit Breath on everybody.
Oh, really?
And just that, yeah, because it's a heal. It's basically Healing Wind. His S2 is basically Healing Wind.
Okay.
Spirit Breath is probably one of the most underappreciated passives in the game.
Oh, it's so good.
So Crypt, you use it, I use it. Every time a person or a unit gets directly healed by a spell or a skill that's like a heal, not like a passive heal like Proud Force or a Sustain heal, nothing like that, not like Blood Force or anything, but an actual active heal. Active heal is going to give you 3 extra SCT. So that means any heal you get, 3 extra SCT, and it only costs 4 SC.
No, it's so good.
Yeah.
If you have a healer in the group, throw it on everybody, even the healer itself. I use it on Emtheria. Shit, she even gets her S2 back to heal, or S3 back to heal more, her S2 back to reduce damage, or S1 to mitigate or to force people away. Like, it's fantastic.
One of my favorite like split-second swing things to do in the arena is you take your healer, and even if they're at full health, you god heal a unit over and over and over and over again because it freezes time, right? And they get 3 SCT and 3 SCT and 3 SCT. So everything is paused except their SCT generation.
That's wild.
And then everything starts again, and you just kill everybody. There's some pro strats right there from the arena. If you're losing, make somebody go Super Saiyan.
Yeah, that's a big reason why I like using Stardust Heal nowadays with the cast speed with Maiden's Banquet. Is just that's also now instant cast and then SCT to everybody because it's AOE heal and it's time stop. Very nice.
That's very nice.
But people are saying Glass Record and Spirit Breath. Yes, so Glass Record
is bonus.
is the spell that is just broken on if you have a unit that can regenerate mana or MP very quickly. This thing is crazy. So Glass Record, 60 MP. That's the thing. That's like the turnoff for most people. They're like, oh, this is crap. It's cost 60 MP. Well, if you have a unit that has either can decrease that cost or can get that mana back really, really quick, this is very, very good. Yeah, if you've seen my videos, Lena, or like I use Gan, I've used V a little bit. Like you can get some units that have crazy MP regen and just spam Glass Record. It's pretty nutty because you get, it doesn't say it right here, but you get medium HP. Medium HP is actually very good. That's a really strong heal. And then restores SCT. This is going to be 10 SCT, but if you have Spirit Breath on everybody, which they get healed, it gives you an extra 3. So every Glass Record is going to be 13 SCT if you use it. Which is party wide. Which is party wide, 4 people, 13 SCT every single time, and you can spam it if you feel as such. I mean, it's an expensive skill, but it's worth it. Absolutely. This is one of the main reasons why you would be chasing this arc, as well as the flag, because this is arguably the, if not the best, second best, most useful arc of the reward in the game, next to Trishul.
Demi is also noting that if you want it to get real broken, you can just throw Forbidden Book on your character because it reduces HP by half and then it immediately heals them right afterward.
I believe there's a way to get, what, is it 18 SC?
Per
Emtheria with
or
book.
18 MP, yeah, Emtheria with the book. And then like a couple more.
New UR weapon is -2.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
There's an accessory
there is some way to get it like below 20, I'm pretty sure. But it's pretty nutty. And then you can
I'm actually gonna do that. Hang on. let's find out.
I was gonna say, since you're on arcs, because these are all great topics, which I love that we're talking about. But just to stay on track a little bit,
I'll bring it up. I know where you're going.
Okay. We're in sync.
I don't. I'm excited. Where are we going?
We're staying on the relevant. We're staying on the new relevant stuff. So after Chrome, we kind of covered that, and we got on our little tangent. Now I'd like to talk about the 100 Nights and 1,000 Skies.
Yeah.
What do you think? Because you had speculated last podcast, because we didn't have a lot of details on this, that this would be the arc to chase. But what has that thought changed?
The passives are really bad.
They are.
Honestly, so let's talk about the arc in general. So this was pretty hyped up arc. We didn't know much about it. We had said that we didn't know what the arc ether reward was. We were looking forward to this Baton of the Future skill. A lot of things to look forward to, and then when it came out, you read the passives right here. Just a really weird passive.
It is, man.
It only affects you. It essentially gives you a honey elixir for 1 out of 1,000 chance every 30 seconds, which is just like, when is that ever going to be useful?
30 seconds is a long time.
Long time, and then 1 out of 1,000 chance, like, no.
So it's pulling a UR.
Right. So damage taken from enemies while fainted, 50% minus. When are you ever going to be fainted except arena? And then, I mean, not ever fainted, right? You can, in longer battles against bosses, you can get fainted if you don't have Ethereal or you don't have like an end game account where you kill them quickly, right? So some battles are a struggle for a lot of new players, mid game players. I get that. But that's really not that good of a buff for a very situational moment. And then Science Magic, just like a mini little pucks contract, like 20% MP, deals 40% more damage. All right. Essentially, that's good, but if you're capping already, there's other arcs that will be better for Magic. So, weird passives on this one. I don't know how that synergizes at all with, honestly, the art itself and the time of the story. I don't really get it. But whatever. Weird passives. Some arcs have just weird passives. So on to the skills. The first 3 are really normal. Stone Shield, cool. 100 Tails looks like an interesting skill, but most units that we get nowadays are gonna have like no weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
So or maybe 1. So 7 SC to do +1 to 1 ailment is gonna be really weird. I mean, you could the most value that this is ever gonna have is if you put it on Zlorg and he gets from weak to neutral.
Nil, or neutral.
But I mean, what's that really gonna do? Baton of the Future is the thing we were looking forward to, right?
Yep.
We said, depending on how it works, and honestly, I haven't even taught it to anyone yet, but depending on how it works,
Sure haven't. Like,
I just don't see any use in it, right? So the issue with this is, which maybe it's because we're endgame accounts and we play a little bit. It's a little bit of a different game, right? So when an ally is incapacitated, greatly recover HP as much SCT skill stock as the incapacitated unit held. I only see, and I think Crypt, you would agree, this being good in arena. But the unfortunate part is, if your units don't die, this isn't useful.
It's a waste of a SC.
So you have to plan for your unit to die, which there are several triggers for that.
Right.
There's a bunch of different stuff that you can do with that. But like, I'm very subscribed to the theory of win, not win more, and that's a very win more thing. That's a very I have to do these specific things, and they have to go after this unit, so we're going to do like an allure build over there and a reject build on everybody else. And it's a lot of mechanical, it's a lot of puzzle pieces to put together when you can just kill your enemy. You can just kill them, and then you don't have to die. You can just kill your enemy, and then it's over. You don't have to lose your unit. You don't have to die. Also, I got Glass Record down to 18 MP.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I thought it was 18. That was just pretty nutty. So Baton of the Future, again, I think if you guys remember, maybe Buda, you weren't around and on the know about this stuff. There was a kamikaze strat against the Mega Beast Lambda that some JP guys had, and I tried, and it worked really, really well. That is one instance where people just nuked Rem, and you could get free SCT to your entire party, which is dope. I mean, that would have been a cool use for it, but this is like one of those things that's just gonna shine whenever we figure out that it's useful.
Yeah.
And in a scenario that it's useful, right? So
it might have been fun in Bloody Palace, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you take along
Like
a
a Soul
hard
Spark?
carry unit and then like a Soul Sparker.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that was
Like, it
my
would've been
theory.
fun.
That was my theory. It was Baton to the Future on the team. You got one unit with either Honey or Elixir, or you use Alice's Etherful release. You use Soul Spark, transfer that full SCT stock to the whole team, and then have Decoy or some kind of res bring that unit back. And now your whole team, other than the unit that died, has all that SCT stock. That was my little theory crafting that I did.
And I mean, you can throw stuff like Pirate Ship in there where they get a huge stat boost if your Soul Sparker's a female and dies. There are more death passives, right? There's a bunch of stuff for that. But again, you can just kill stuff.
You can just build them to destroy.
So
yes.
I'm sure I will and others will find a use for it, but like
it's kind of a why versus why not situation.
It's not something that you need to chase at all. Now,
gotcha. Why are you
moving
doing
along,
that? Well, why not do that?
Moving along, the absolute worst thing that I've ever seen on an awesome LR arc, or like not really an awesome LR arc. I guess this sums up the usefulness of this arc, to be honest. I don't understand why they would make an arc either reward just this.
Oh my gosh, it's painful.
Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. It's like
it doesn't even give intelligence or anything. Like, what's the point?
No MP, as far as I know.
It's 40 MP. No HP, no strength, no intelligence, no defense, no mind. Just literally 40 MP, and then it essentially just makes all your science magic do crits, which is.
Was there accessibility to do that previously?
Yes. The Elude Meki arc, but I mean, usually in battles, if you're going to be fighting any kinds of difficult content, you're going to be boosting one element, and you can afford 6 SC for the critical. Like, it's not that hard to do. So you don't need 4 different criticals on a unit.
The elemental criticals also affect the science magic elements?
Yeah.
Each element, yeah.
It's all magic of that. Like, the science tag is independent of that.
Gotcha.
The science tag really only acts to... It's like a hook for the damage boosts.
Yeah.
There's basically nothing else that's affected by that. I think like Tsukasa might have a passive.
Something with science magic, yeah. The extra effects of it. Yeah.
But it's just an extra tag on it. It's just like an extra keyword that it acts on.
I see.
Yeah. So I mean, all in all, this arc is pretty bad. I mean, not bad per se, but like it's not.
This one's
useful.
So weird.
Give some.
And honestly, I thought the first one was kind of weird, but this one just like, and I was excited for the next one because I was like, it might be good.
I like the first one, if only for the AER. Like the AER in the first one is great.
That's what I was gonna say.
Best ones in the game, and then the AER in this one is so weird. It does have a little bit of MP. That's not okay. So that's not
40
the
MP,
worst.
But it's still very weird.
It's 40 MP and what 36 points worth of passives, because there's only.
Well, the science magic's only 4, so it's 24.
Yeah. 24, right?
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of it.
But it's so weird and niche.
No one should really be a fan of it, to be honest.
It's something you just don't really need.
Along with the usefulness of the first LR, we did get confirmation from TheKryptman that Degrogue will be coming eventually.
Eventually.
Oh, really? I missed that.
You missed that.
I must not have been
so,
there. That's exciting news for me.
As well.
He kind of said, well, you guys got Zuglis, and he was a unit, right? Like, as like one of those big battles. So we're assuming Degrogue will be coming in the next month, right? Yeah, Lily too.
I would assume.
Within the next month. He said not this next week, so we don't know what that means. I'm speculating it could be in the next 2 or 3 weeks. We get another DOH banner.
Probably.
Right. So Degrogue will be coming to the game, and then this arc I'm assuming he'll be able to make use of Kanru. I don't know how to say that. Spear style and all this.
Yeah.
Kanryu. Yeah, sure. Let's go with that. But he'll be coming to the game, so that's exciting news as well. I know a lot of people are looking forward to. I think it's a her actually. To be fair.
Yeah, there's a lot of speculation on that.
But that's because story spoilers, right? That's because story spoilers, right?
I mean, no, everyone's played this war, right?
Well, no, yeah. Let's not talk about
Right.
how
I'm saying
that'll
that's
I mean, I don't know
ruin
who
that
that
line
is
of
exactly. I
stuff.
just I'm speculating the gender.
But if
I
it's
don't know
gonna
what
be
that actually
if
identifies
it's a
that, so.
unit that I don't consider units dropping to be story spoilers, quote unquote, because like when I started the game, there was Divine Beast Ray, so I knew
Right.
that was a thing.
But this is more a situation where like Zuglis dropping as a unit isn't the spoiler. The spoiler would be knowing who's inside the armor.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
The
And
character
it's basically that
itself,
exact same situation.
Oh, I don't even know, so I can't even.
But yeah,
spoil
we
that.
don't have to cover that.
Yeah, we avoid the details, but
Word.
Degrogue dropping, I don't think is a.
We could do a whole
That'll be
other
exciting.
thing about spoilers and just call it spoilers.
Spoiler.
But I can't read, so I don't know what the
Yeah,
story
I
of this
actually
game
play
actually
the
is.
global game. I'm illiterate, so
I kind of skip everything, so. I don't
I
know.
actually have skipped.
We may
all
have to bring
stories,
a
so,
guest
rip.
on, maybe the.
I recognize 4 English letters, SKIP, in that order exclusively.
Exactly. Okay. Cool.
Did you
We
want to
got it.
do the Q&A if you would have 15 minutes ish?
I think. Yeah. No, I'm fine running a little bit over if you guys are.
Yeah.
I just wanted to clarify one last detail, and then we can jump over to Q&A. Because I released the video talking about farming, the second part, and comparing the hard stages to the easy stages, and kind of made it a bit prematurely in my opinion, because after talking to Tweacz a little more, he enlightened me to the detail the detail of cycle time. So do you just want to maybe elaborate on that a little bit quickly, if you can, on how to judge which stage you should be farming just to close out this event?
Okay. Yeah, I can do that. So, a big aspect of auto running and picking which map you want to farm is based on in real time, as to not map time, not in battle time, your actual real time in real life, right? How much time it takes you to run each quest, and how many resources are returned to you, right? So we had talked previously about Grudge Mountain's Precipice of Adana being a fantastic map, which it is for me, for a lot of other veteran players who are continuously stealing, who are killing very quickly, who can use 2 times the Beast Hunter 10s and get max drops on the last 2 waves and all that kind of stuff. So fantastic drop rate, and we can clear it very quickly. If you aren't killing it very quickly, your cycle time is going to be from start quest right here to start. The next time you press start quest, it's going to be a lot longer than what we're doing. In that aspect, if you're taking a while and you're not stealing efficiently, there's better maps to do. Now, the other best map to do is going to be this for batteries. I'm assuming if people are still farming batteries, which you probably are if you're not endgame, is Colossus of the Earth. It gives all 4 of the materials you need: copper, graphite, manganese, zinc, and there's a guaranteed 4 drops, which is 120 materials worth. In Graja Mountains, you're only guaranteed, I think, 2 or 3 drops pretty much based on RNG. So this is without stealing, which is relevant to 30 to 45 ingredients. Now, instead, you can run this and get 120 guaranteed per, with a max of 150 if you steal. So if you have the ability to not necessarily steal, but you have the ability to kind of kill this boss pretty quickly, you should be doing this instead. Because the cycle time is going to be a lot lower. You don't have to go through 3 waves and try to force steal everyone with a Yashimaru, PTR, Chrome, whatever. Yeah, that's pretty much it, though.
Okay.
Do it fast. Whatever's faster, whatever's the most materials per second in your head, do that map.
Right.
Because that's how I do it. That's how I judge what I'm farming.
And for you, who's able to steal that 20 chest mark on Gragia,
Right.
for the amount of time it takes you to clear,
Which is going to be 20 chests is going to be 300 materials, which is double this.
right?
For me, that's only a little slower than this, so it's worth it for me still, but not for everybody.
But yes, I was farming the Gragia Mountains at the end of that last video I posted. Now I have switched over to the Colossus, and it's night and day. because my account clears that one so much more quickly, and the return on materials.
And it's guaranteed, man.
Yes.
120 minimum.
Yes. So, and where I got it wrong was I ran it about 5 to 10 times, and my RNG within those runs, I didn't get a lot of zinc drops. So it made it seem like I wasn't able to craft as much, but versus
it was because your sample size was small.
My sample size was too small. After an hour, the results were night and day.
And you were popping off and
it's like,
batteries. Exactly.
500 batteries now. What?
Yes.
Exactly.
So I just wanted to clarify that. So thank you for helping me do that. It's 1:00. What do you guys think about like Q&A is an extra thing if you're here live? We do a little 15-minute Q&A, but then if you're listening, we kind of just cut it here. Where I'm kind of just discussing this live while we're on air.
You could just do it all.
We'll just do it all. Okay, so I'm going to switch over.
Everybody wants to. No one wants to miss the Q&A.
We're including the Q&A, guys.
Absolutely.
We're including it. All right, so I'm over here on the 227 new messages. Damn, y'all are killing it. Thank you all for being here. I forgot to say that. We really appreciate the support. It's awesome to see you guys interested in this. And the turnout Q&A. Okay, so did you guys see any questions, or should we just start running it off here if you've got one?
Listen, you can pop off on the questions if you'd like. I mean, people can start asking them. I know that I've seen a few, but just start now.
Yeah, if you asked one and we didn't get to it, feel free. Just run it off in the chat.
see Rithik thoughts on the paid banner. I think we went over that last time, though. Like, the paid banner itself is great for paying players. 30K paid to get a unit instead of having to pity. Fantastic.
I have a question in my chat. Tweacz, why are you such a whale?
Bro, come on, man.
So I think that's actually a very interesting thing. I don't think we need to talk about it right this second, but I think at some point you and I need to talk to people about spending smart instead of spending hard on this game. But that's its own subject. Like, we could go on about that for a while. So we'll address why and how Tweacz is such a whale in future installation.
Bro, everyone's convinced I'm just like this mega whale, and I'm just sitting here like, all I do is farm.
Right?
Whatever. It's fine. It's funny.
People don't realize that you have every single character at max level, so you've extracted all of those free resources. Everything. But now they're gone. How's that feel? Anyway,
doesn't feel great.
Yeah.
I saw it. Did you jump on that question from Kat? Did you kind of touch on that just now?
Nope.
Thoughts on no pity for free-to-play players for Gen/Chrome, and no pity at all for Arts and Dr. Stone?
Yeah, I think I disagree with that too. I don't like that at all. I don't like that they didn't have pity for the collab stuff, the new collab stuff at all.
Have they done that in the past? With collab?
No, they had free pity for 90K for last time they had Dr. Stone. They had pity for Sukasa. I mean, they had pity for the new units like Sukasa and Cloudia.
That's right, because we discussed.
And the new arc.
And Senku.
We discussed.
They had the arc last time too.
Did they have the arc last time? I didn't remember that.
Yeah. I have been made to not forget that they had the arcs.
Yeah, I know. It's a rip.
I don't think that's a good.
Okay. I like Meowing's question.
It's working for them.
I like Meowing's question. What are the most slept on units by the community? One from each person. So,
you want to talk about Merity?
I mean, dude, Merity is slept on for 100%. I think that's an easy answer because we've been talking about her. But let me roll through my units. Let me see. Who do I think?
I'm going to jump back to your screen share.
Let's go here. Slept on units. Lena for sure.
And she's pretty OG.
Lena, I think you guys have shown me Lena recently. I think it was Meowing. I mean, WGT did for sure. Enma, Demos, but slept on.
That's a good question.
I don't know what just happened there. One of my emulators just freaked out.
Oh, nice.
Super low FPS. Everything froze.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Is it good now?
it wasn't really noticeable at first because this game's FPS is usually so terrible. It's like, oh, it's just
Okay,
the regular.
I'm gonna go with my boy. I'm gonna go with this specific Bayland, honestly.
Is that Tank Balin?
This is pseudo tank Allure Bayland that is fantastic. He can't die pretty much.
Yeah, I see you abuse the heck out of him.
Bro, his Allure build, one of my favorite units to use in like boss battles just to make people he just can't die. Every crit is like 1300 HP, and he's just ridiculous mind and defense, and it's just so funny. Because like he'll just hold enemies' attentions, and you can just do whatever the hell you want.
Well, that's
fantastic.
literally what you did on the Reaper.
The Merity video for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. Gen 2, just back attacks. Beautiful. I mean, he does it automatically, but Merity for sure. So much fun. That's my answer. Is pseudo tank Allure Bayland.
Does a tank Balin play out in arena? Like, does Allure actually work?
I have never tried that. But Allure does work. I stack it.
No.
I stack it on Zuglis when I have him on my defense team, and if you auto it, the AI does go to them quite a bit.
Interesting.
It's a viable strategy for sure.
Because a lot of times, the match will start and I'll line up my like first hit, which is very important. And you click it, and instead of going where you want it to, it goes like middle field and hits somebody else. It's like, now why did that happen? And I'm wondering if it's because people are using Allure.
So a big reason of that is, which I don't know if you've noticed him playing in arena, but if you're using Gen, he doesn't get hit a lot, right?
Yeah, right. He really doesn't.
So his little like niche passive about like making everyone else have more attention than him, and I think it's a very strong reject basically, because he's so weirdly tanky because he just doesn't get because defensive teams are always auto, so they have to go by the AI.
Right.
And he just doesn't get attacked very often. Exactly, he redirects. It's a fantastic and weirdly convincing argument for Allure and reject in this meta. Yep.
I like it. Crypt?
What's your answer, Crypt?
I mean, I think a lot of people are waking up on this unit. I know that this is something that has become extremely apparent in my recent gameplay. Fucking Tsukasa in arena for sure.
Ooh, well, especially with those buffs.
Yeah, me saying that's gonna make some people mad. Sorry, but it's true. He's so good. He's so good. It's dumb. Especially with the new UR, like that first 10 seconds of essentially double damage. you just wipe the floor with people. I think he's very good in PvE too. I haven't used him very much. I have never seen his ult go off. I don't even know what it does. But I like him as a unit a lot. And his recent buffs are just absolutely insane. So
I'd say Human Slayer is one of the most.
It's so good.
Busted.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Even and here's my thing is that even though a lot of his damage, even his paid weapon, relies on his Slayer going off, he hits so hard that even if a unit isn't human or isn't Slayerable, because that's becoming a thing, which is kind of fun in arena, right? The Slayer immune team, he still kills people. It doesn't matter. He stomps and shoots them up into the air, and oh hey look, Sky High is now active, or you've got like Terror Mouth going, and oh hey there's another 50% damage. Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he can't Slayer them because he's got so many other ways to like amp that damage. It's amazing. I've been having so much fun. I've been having so much fun with him that I replaced my DBR, who is still, in my opinion, probably the best arena unit, just for like being a hard carry and that he's extremely tanky. He's got the flinch resistance, he's got feint resistance, super good. But yeah, definitely Tsukasa right now. I think people are, and again, I think people are starting to wake up on it. But he's extremely good. And super fun.
What's your answer?
Well, I'm going to say it more for the meme, and maybe you guys can help me explain. But I know there's a lot of hype around fish.
The Fishmans?
The Fishmans.
The Sagin?
The Sagin.
Yeah, I mean, dude, mine's 6-star, bro. 100 AC. Let's go.
But why? Tell me why. Doesn't he give some crazy boost to something?
So yeah, so this is going to be the most powerful elemental down buff debuff in the game. And it's per hit. It's not per skill.
Uptime's like 100%.
Flood sphere.
It's per hit, dude. So he has a chance to proc this on every single hit. It is a minus 50 res, ice res, down debuff
Good lord.
on Flood Spear.
Sahagin meta.
Not only that, his S2 also can reduce enemy movement speed.
Beast.
Not only that, his S3 can bust all allies' ice attacks, which is physical, magic, and ultimate.
I love it.
Bro, he is, I know Panda will love this, dude. He is the ultimate wingman for Amelia,
Oh, easy.
for
Oh,
Ice
so
Mage
good.
Zekis, for Celios, for anyone that's ice. You can literally just bring him, and if you want to make him tanky as hell, bring him and whoever else ice and just run train on pretty much anything. It's really, really funny. Maybe not Reaper per se, because elemental walls and stuff that you can't even see, but pretty much any content in the game he will make ice viable,
I love
which
it.
is hilarious.
Yeah, credit to my LC mod Ivaz. She fangirls over this guy all day.
This was my first.
Fish boyfriend.
This
Yep.
was my first unit in the game that I built outside of Prim and Phantom Thief Robin. This was it.
Seriously?
It was Zekis, Prim. It was Prim, Zekis, and then I had Sahagin as my half tank. Like I put a lore on him. It was just like they had to do some stuff. It was hilarious.
That's really funny.
Yeah, I built him super early. But
Great. That's
EXR was my first monster unit, because affliction spam.
because DXR is honorable mention of this group and just being the best ailment spammer still to this game.
Hey,
In this
and
he really
and
is still.
the best.
And I never built him.
He's the best, or I guess she. I don't know. It's a robot, but it's got a female voice in English, but its voice in Japanese is just an actual crazy robot. So who knows? It is also the best source of barrier outside of Imtheria, and barrier, as we all know now, is real busted. And it's on its ult, and its ult charges really quickly, because its main attack hits 14 times or something like that with dual wield. It's a lot. So yeah, that's a very niche kind of early monster build that was strong. Was just affliction spam DXR.
I love
Hey,
it.
meowing. I think you know why I'm on this. I'm on this unit for that question,
Is that why you pulled up Shin, baby Shin?
bro. First of all, clarify. He's fantastic in arena.
He's so good in arena.
But the amount of fanboys for him in PvE makes me want to vomit. He is no hit count. He can't when enemies are millions and millions of HP and he's sitting there waving his sword in the air at them. It's not good. He just doesn't. He lacks the hit count, which is the issue. Lacks the hit count. His cap raisers are on single wield. You have to dual wield him, and then he's at maximum pretty much 12,000 per hit, that's with Scarlet Blade and Phantom Key. It's not going to be great. So, I mean, absolutely phenomenal in PvP, but just not a PvE unit at all.
Interesting.
And he's great at strength flexing. I mean, I got 20k on him yesterday, which is sweet. And if anyone saw that post, that was pretty dope.
Hey,
but that's it.
Speaking of, I went to go do my soul dungeon today with my Zekis, and I load in, and he has Elder King mask on, so he can't skill, and he has no spells.
Oh no!
I was like, somebody's gonna get really unfortunate and use this as their support. It's me.
To preface that, I used Krypt's Zekis as my fourth unit to strength boost him to get that screenshot. So that's why his support was all messed up.
Because Tweacz, bet on the fact that I would have a bunch of weird specific skills taught to him. Because I just teach everybody I like everything.
Right.
So yeah, he's got basically everything. Yeah, you were. I didn't see that screenshot. You were like, "Do you have these weird specific things on him?" And I just sent him a screenshot. I was like, "Apparently, I do. I don't recall doing that, but it happened."
It's pretty good.
And that's why I do it, people. just in case.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. When will all the haters acknowledge that V is the best mage in the game?
What, V? Oh, God.
I think you know who that is, and I don't think we need to answer that question.
Yep.
God.
Oh, that's great.
Okay, so here's the caveat to that. V is one of the best mages in the game in Arena.
Yes.
Really?
He's
now?
a phenomenal dark mage. Absolutely.
But because you don't need damage, that's the idea.
Yeah. It's not about damage.
I see.
It's about affliction. It's about control. It's about enabling. And V is a very, very, very good unit. Fastest farmer in the game. You know, quickest draw in the West, as it were. My auto run that I've got going right now is that like 1 second IGC3 loop.
Fantastic. So good.
Just him tasing everybody immediately.
That's
He's
great.
also, I mean, WGT's also right in the fact that he's also the best class record spammer because his regular attacks are so powerful.
I was gonna throw in. I saw Rithik asked how viable normal attack V is in Arena.
Oh, so good. I mean, it's again, you don't need him for damage. You need him for affliction.
But he also does damage. You can also damage amp him pretty well.
If you can,
and
but like,
you can
don't have
basically
to.
cheat with him. We're not going to talk about how, but I think V is probably one of the highest skill cap characters to play, like optimally.
Yep.
For various
He has just
reasons
so many
that
different
Tweacz
builds.
understands.
Yes. He is.
yeah.
He's so
He's
good.
extremely strong.
I think we definitely have
I
to.
mean, that's not it.
We have to plan a PvP podcast at some point in the near future, for sure.
We could do it. We could talk about it.
That'll be Crips. That'll be Crips spotlight right there for sure.
Jesus.
For sure.
Yeah, I guess.
You don't get it.
I don't know how many times I can cover the same stuff, but I can make it sound interesting, sure.
Well, I'm sure we could pick probably, a set amount of units and take the whole podcast to talk about their builds and how viable
sure.
they are.
We can do that. I just yesterday, I think, on stream, somebody was like, "Hey, show me your like specific unit build," and I was like, "You know what? Here's my entire PvP build for every single character and why I'm doing what I'm doing. Congratulations! Now you can do what I do. Good luck at out-no-lifing me at it." Because like I'm not really worried, right?
Yeah.
Like I doubt anyone has the amount of free time that I have to do what I'm doing.
That's wild.
Sorry, guys. I really don't have a life. This is it, fam.
And if you want to see it live, go check them out on Twitch.
Yeah. I'll be streaming right after this. We'll do probably some arena grind, probably
Nice.
some battery grind. That's what I'm
Perfect.
doing right now on stream. But it's what's going on, y'all.
Love it. Well, guys, I think that's a good place.
Something I will add first.
Yeah.
If anyone's interested in like the farming aspect, where we talked about stealing and all that kind of stuff, I did just put up 2 builds in the tier list for both Yasha and Phantom Thief Robin. I know they're in the Discord, the LC Discord as well, but go check it out if you're interested in building those two. Those are my 2 favorite builds for them. So that's just like current events stuff that I just did literally last night. So people should enjoy that.
Awesome. Cool. Guys, thank you. Thank you, Tweacz. Thank you, Crypt,
Thank you.
for being here, dropping the knowledge on the people, including myself.
It's always a good time.
So,
Appreciate it, man. most
will
likely.
be in the game if it drops the 16th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll
Absolutely.
see how that goes. We'll see
Yeah.
how that turns out.
If anything, we'll come together and figure out something to talk about.
We've been getting cyberpunked for a little while
A little
on
bit.
it, but I mean, cyberpunk eventually came out, right?
Yeah.
It was great, right? I
Literally.
really
great
enjoyed
game.
that game, but that's
I
not
really
really
enjoyed
there.
Cyberpunk.
That's
All right,
more
folks.
because there's something wrong with me than the game was good. I'm gonna shamelessly plug myself here in the chat. There, I'll be
Join
hanging
in.
out after the podcast on my stream. I'm currently live. We do this live every time. Shameful. I am shameless, my friend. Completely
Absolutely.
shameless.
You
Because
have to
nobody
be.
else in this life is gonna promote you. Okay?
That is true.
If you
gotta
don't
do
do
it.
it yourself, nobody's gonna do it.
Facts.
So
Facts.
yeah.
good.
Anyhow, that's
Cool.
that's where we're at. So if anybody
Sure.
wants to come and hang out afterward, please do.
Join Crypt over there. And guys, I think that's all we got for you this time. So, y'all know what we say. Work hard, play harder. See you in the next podcast.